One of my students asked me why every conversation in class devolves into me ranting about capitalism. It's because I'm the teacher that your parents warned you about. I'm the professor that's gonna turn your kids leftist. Welcome.
Ranting about capitalism on your iPhone while there's an Apple TV in the background. Believe it or not, it's not the stupidest thing I've seen this week. Watch the whole video, you'll know what I mean. Hi, I'm Ariel, the lesbian that leftists love to hate, and I'm gonna do another damage control video today. We're gonna talk about schools, the education system. What are we up against? I remember back when I was in high school, it was cool to be the bisexual girl that wasn't really bisexual, and everyone knew that she wasn't really bisexual, but she was like claiming to be bisexual for like popularity points, and it was cool. Now we have shit like this. Gender neutral terms to address a group. The funny thing is, I bet even with all of these like gender neutral terms, leftists will find fault and be offended by at least some of these. Homo sapiens, I'm offended. I am not a homosexual. I am a pansexual. Earthlings, oh my god, did these people not see the TikTok video that I covered a few weeks ago where the person in question, oh god, I can't even say that because they don't identify as a human, doesn't identify as a human. Speaking of things that are also not human that do it just as well, if not better, today's video is sponsored by AutoBlow. It's exactly what it sounds like. It is the world's first blowjob machine. And since my audience is now 50% men, it's more men than I've ever had watching me in the history of this channel, don't mind it. I thought you guys would appreciate this. And let me tell you something, I wish that I had a penis just so I could stick it in this thing. This thing is built to last. It has 10 different modes. The 10th mode is different every time, so you get a different blowjob every time. That's what makes blowjobs great. The not knowing what's gonna happen next. The unexpected.
What does a real blowjob feel like? Surprising. He doesn't know what's happening next. That's what we aim to recreate with the new AutoBlow.
To make this superior toy, they studied 108 hours of pornographic video, and they annotated with each frame the position of the lips, along the shaft of the penis and other movements, and then programmed this machine to replicate them. Amazing. Check out autoblow.com. It will be linked in the description below, and pick yourself up one for yourself or for a friend for the holidays. Please continue to support brands who support this channel to keep us going. Okay, so back to wokeness. Teachers are now bragging on TikTok about getting students suspended for calling them the wrong pronouns. And then there's this guy.
I teach high school, and most days of the week I come to school in stilettos. I get to stand at about 6'6", and the reason why is so I can create an explicitly queer space for all of my students. That way they know that this place is a place for them, by them, and because I never had one of those growing up. So, yeah. Bit of a beast.
I actually don't have an issue with teachers dressing differently or dressing in drag. What I would find an issue with is if there were a guy that were to dress like this, teachers fully supporting it, while simultaneously shaming a woman, a young woman I should say, for simply, you know, showing her shoulders off. Wait a second, there's just in, we have this teacher actually dressing in drag? Let's watch that.
Look for teaching the children tomorrow. Feels very Harvey Milk meets Harvey Dent. I'm here to recruit you.
The fit check. My admin's actually very okay with me wearing heels. I'm coming to school in drag sometimes. I used to put on makeup, but now it's too early in the morning, so that's not happening anymore. But like, yeah, they're pretty cool with it. They just think I'm making a safe place for my kids.
Again, I really don't find issue with somebody dressing in drag as long as it's not super sexualized, as long as it's not sexualized at all, I should say. But I would be curious to see if this gay drag queen teacher thinks it would be acceptable for people that aren't male, that present as male, that identify as like gender fluid or trans or whatever, to be allowed in women's or young women's bathrooms and such in schools. I would be curious to see what they think about those safe spaces.
At this point, I am pretty much full-time teaching high school Spanish in a little bit of full-face drag. Lots of bearded drag. My students seem pretty cool about it, and it doesn't seem like my admins have any problem at all. So I guess I'm just lucky. Again,
I think this is fine, and you know, men can wear makeup. Makeup isn't sexual. Here is something I do have an issue with, and it's a big issue. And I'll admit it, I didn't see it as much of an issue until I read some of the Twitter replies to this tweet. And it's regarding teachers hiding their students' supposed gender identity or sexual orientation from their parents.
Trans kids and teens being out at school but not out at home. And the teachers know the chosen names and pronouns, but they are conflicted as to how they should address the trans students if they see them out in public with their parents.
My friend Buck Angel, who is a very well-known transsexual man, said this, and he got me thinking a lot differently about the situation. Number 1 rule, never teach children to keep secrets from their parents. This is a groomer tactics, you morons. I love him. I am on the fence about this though, because what if the only reason a teacher is not telling the parents because they're worried that the child might go home to an abusive situation? It's 2021 at this point. I feel like it's so rare for a child to be kicked out of their home for simply being transgender, like actually transgender, or just dressing differently, or being a minority sexual orientation. But it happens, so it really is a tough call. And yes, this really is already happening in Canada. Ottawa School Board will allow students to change names without their parents' knowledge. According to an email sent by OCDSB colleagues, students will have the option of being referred to their chosen name and pronouns and will be able to change their names on all non-legal documents used by the school. The email states that parents or guardians do not have to be involved in their children's new identities. I mean, your identity and how you feel and how you like present yourself to the world, I feel like that's something your parents should be aware of. Not involved in necessarily, but definitely aware of. I mean, you're living at home. How could you really hide that from them in the first place? But I know kids are sneaky. Parents will be able to see any changes to a student's chosen name or gender marker. Okay, so they will be able to see anything. Okay, I mean, so yeah, with this I'm on the fence too. Let's leave this up for debate in the comments. I really want to know what you guys think on this one. Do you think parents should be told if their kids are changing their names, their pronouns, their gender, if they're coming out in school and afraid to say it, you know, at home? Do you think parents should be notified in some way? Or is it okay in certain circumstances for safety reasons to not tell parents? Speaking of adults talking to kids, I just want to end this video with one person who kind of does this on the regular. Their name is Jeffrey Marsh. Not a fan of this person.
I want to talk to the kids. Parents watch the video and then hand the phone over to the young kids. Hi there. I get asked a lot, are you a boy or a girl? And I love that question. And so I wanted to just tell you, sometimes human beings are more than boy or girl. Sometimes we're something else. Sometimes we're both. Sometimes we kind of float in between, and sometimes we're a boy, sometimes we're a girl. Because human beings are creatures and we're wild and exciting.
Not a fan of their content, obviously, and I don't think that you can float between being a girl and a boy. What you mean is floating between masculine and feminine presentations of how you physically present. That's fine, but that's not what makes a boy, a girl, a girl. Credit where credit is due though. I do think that it was good of them to say for the parents to watch the video first. Otherwise, it would have definitely seemed even more creepy than it already is. I do think that this was an interesting take on all of this. Somebody tweeted this on Twitter in response to this video. They said, any movement that preaches to women and children to trust what the strange man tells you about his identity before trusting your own instincts is a predatory movement. And yeah, I mean, to play devil's advocate on both sides though, I do want to say that I don't think all of this person's content is bad. I think that they do have some decent ideas. Some. This was one video that I thought had a good message behind it.
Its name, I don't know what to say. I learned their name.
Hello, beautiful. I hope someone, a trans person, has told you thank you. I would rather, this is just me, but I would rather have you opening your big, wide, wonderful heart to people like me and stumbling and fumbling and getting it wrong, but enthusiastically, than to have you disengaged and afraid to say the wrong thing. People like me, gender delightful people, have gone from people thinking we're freakish and weird to people being afraid to say the wrong thing around us. Both ways, we're lonely. So thank you for trying. I love you.
And I think this speaks volumes because no matter what you are, no matter who you feel like you are, we all need to be kind to each other. But what hit me the most is when they said, either way, we both wind up lonely. The truth is the LGBT community went from being hated to tolerated to accepted to being hated again. And it's because of these entitled people. They don't know boundaries. They're not giving grace in regards to making mistakes and giving opportunity for growth. And I want to say this because this is important too. While I make these videos claiming them to be damage control videos. I don't ever want anyone who is watching these to go and publicly shame or hate any of the people that I'm responding to. These videos are more so meant to spark important conversations that we need to have. But that's how I feel about all this at the moment. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And as always, if you are not subscribed to my channel, make sure to subscribe because we have another video coming in a few days. And go and check out our sponsor, the Auto Blow. Thank you so much for supporting brands that support this channel. Other than that, I'll see you guys back here in a few days with a brand new video. I love you. Bye.